Welcome viewers. A brief introduction about myself. Me Anirban Chakraborty, Assistant Professor Marine Engineering from Indian Maritime University, Kolkata campus. My today's lecture will be on combustion of fuel in internal combustion engines. Level is BTech, undergraduate engineering courses, and the target audience would be graduate students from mechanical, marine, and allied engineering streams. Our learning objectives will be understanding the various phases of fuel combustion, wherein chemical energy in the fuel is converted to mechanical energy to run an internal combustion engine. So here you can see a schematic cross-sectional view of a multi-cylinder engine where the pistons are at various stages of combustion. So what we basically understand by combustion? Combustion, also known as burning or ignition, is a chemical process in which fuel is burned, the chemical energy is converted to mechanical energy, hot gases are produced, and these hot gases in turn push the piston down, and in turn this piston rotates the crankshaft. So chemical energy is converted to mechanical energy in the engine. Now there are two types of internal combustion engines. One is the petrol engine and one is the diesel engine. Petrol engine works on spark ignition, and the diesel engine works on compression ignition. So in compression ignition diesel engines, there are four distinct processes. One is the intake or the suction stroke. The second is the compression stroke. The third is the combustion and the power stroke. And the fourth is the exhaust stroke. So what basically happens during combustion? The process that happens inside the engine is when the piston is moving down, fresh air from the atmosphere is sucked in. Then again, when the piston is moving up from bottom dead center to top dead center, compression takes place, and at the end of the compression stroke, just before TDC or the top dead center, fuel is injected, wherein combustion starts, burning starts, hot gases are produced, and the piston is pushed down to do mechanical work. This is a schematic drawing showing the various stages of combustion. The first stage is the injection of fuel. Bigger droplets injected into the combustion chamber is atomized. These bigger droplets gets converted to smaller droplets, which is called atomization. The smaller droplets in contact with the hot gases or the hot air, compressed air, gets vaporized, and this vaporized gas, after reaching the self-ignition temperature, starts combustion. So this is the process of combustion. Now we are going to discuss about the stages of combustion. Combustion can be briefly divided into four stages. First stage is the ignition delay. Second stage is the rapid or uncontrolled combustion phase. Third stage is the controlled combustion phase, and the fourth stage is after burning. Here we can see a graph which is plotted as pressure against the crank angle. So pressure in the combustion chamber is plotted against the crank angle. Crank angle is shown here in the x-axis. Now we will talk about the first stage or the ignition delay phase. Ignition delay is defined as the time between the injection of fuel in the combustion chamber and the start of combustion. So fuel does not get ignited immediately when it's injected. It takes some time for the fuel air mixture to get prepared, after which the fuel gets ignited. So this difference in time or this time duration is called the ignition delay period. So ignition delay period depends upon several factors. Briefly, the factors are compression ratio of the engine, power output of the engine, the speed of the engine, whether it is slow speed, medium speed or high speed engine, injection timing with respect to the crank angle, atomization of fuel or the degree of atomization of fuel, injection pressure, intake temperature or the suction air temperature, And lastly, but not the least, the certain number of fuel. Next comes the uncontrolled combustion phase. This is the second stage of combustion where combustion is initiated or combustion starts. The fuel that has been accumulated in the combustion chamber now starts burning, and there is a very steep pressure rise during this phase. That's why all the fuel starts burning, and this is called the uncontrolled combustion phase. Next stage is the controlled combustion phase. Controlled combustion is more controlled combustion. That means the fuel injection rate is equal to the combustion rate. And here the pressure rise is not so steep, but it occurs gradually. And almost two-thirds of the total heat energy in the fuel is released during this phase. That means in the controlled combustion phase, most of the power is being developed. After the controlled combustion phase is the last phase or the fourth phase, that is called afterburning. The remaining fuel that has been left over in the remote pockets of the combustion chamber now burns away. So all the fuel is burned in this phase, and this occurs, it spreads over a period of 60 to 70 degree of crank angle rotation. So this is all about your